eccentric social entrepreneur who decided to promote art, culture, and heritage. This idea has been around for, you know, few decades, and we've been looking for a place to establish Akuhel. We've been to different countries, and fortunately, Liberia was selected as the head.
Ah, okay.
Yes, so we acquire a facility, the former John Wesley Beach. We acquired as the headquarters for Akuhel Sanctuary. And as a matter of fact, Akuhel is, like you said, for those who were not listening the last time, is an acronym for arts, culture, heritage, and linkages. That's what we call Akuhel. And the basic what Akuhel is meant for, now that we are in Liberia, and Liberia is very strategic because Liberia and Ethiopia in Africa were the two countries that were not colonized. So we decided to take Liberia, and whether it's fortunate or unfortunately for Liberia, our culture has been eroded. We we have serious cultural deficit, if I may put it that way. So we want to revive the extinct culture in Liberia and the near extinct culture. We want to promote arts and culture. Our intention is to use the entire Marshall Belt as a cultural hub for West Africa and Africa at large. We want to look at a situation where we're having our cultural festival from the EAW, I mean, from the Marshall Junction all the way to Marshall itself. You will see cultural activities, paintings in the entire area. Akwe is just the headquarters.
Okay.
So we will bring cultural troops from all over Liberia or from West Africa and Africa at large. We're bringing cultural troops from all over so that we can again see what culture is all about. So amongst other things, but the facility we took for sustainability, we'll keep running it. We have challenge there. We have several rooms. We have the beachside, swimming pool, conference center, wedding venues. We're going to use that as a means of raising money to sustain the project because it's capital intensive.
I know.
Everything we do now is, we don't want, it's self-sponsored. So basically, that is what Akuhel is all about.
Now let's come to the cultural experiences of those running Akuhel.
Yeah.
Because for your vision to be realized, as the drivers of the vision will have to be fit enough
Sure.
to drive that. So let's look at you, for example, your experience in culture and all that.
Good. Um, Akuhel is an international body.
Okay.
I'm just fortunate to be a part of it. And so you have people from diverse cultural background. For me, when I was approached and to be a part of it, I didn't even know what it was all about.
Okay.
Number one, when we meet in international conferences, people speaking their dialects and come with different cultural attires, and I'm like, I'm lost in their maze. And the whole idea is, I had this deficiency. Then I began to go, I went back to myself and said, well, who am I? I'm a Liberian. How do Liberians live? What we are, is it original in our behavior? So I went to start making personal research and saw a lot of deficiency. My brother, let's be very practical. As a typical Liberian man in the morning, or anybody, how do we greet? Hi, hello. It starts from there. A majority of the people don't even know how to greet. It's either good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. How you doing? Hi. Boring culture here and there. So, personally, I did extensive research on the Liberian culture and saw the deficiency. And that is why we try to fit in to tell people, look, few years from now, if we don't do this, we will travel out of our country to different museums around the world to know about Liberia. To know about Liberia. So the sooner we start with even the students to tell them, look, this is how we live, this is how we dress, because it even affect our social life.
So it reminds me, to ask the birthplace looking for the birthright somewhere else.
You could say that.
About, I mean, does the vision of Akuhel fit into the vision of culture in Liberia?
Yes. One thing about Akure is adaptable everywhere. Because come to think it, think about it rather, when we're in Mali, I was surprised to know that the Mende tribe, had a root there. In Brazil, you have the Yoruba tribe. So when you travel far and large, especially in Africa, you will know that we are interrelated. Some of the food we eat, they just call it different names and have small twists, but we are all the same. So it fits very well. In fact, Liberia is so key because at least for other countries around us, when you see their citizens, you know who they are. By the way they talk, the way they dress. But put a Liberian man, you don't even know who he is, his dress code, the way he speak. Ask him to speak his dialect. Do a census and say, how many Liberians can speak their native language? It's not encouraging. So it fits here very well. That's why we are using Liberia as the headquarters. We want to start, and when we get to a certain level, we're going to spread to the Mano River Union, bring cultural troops. In fact, that will be in the near future. Very soon, we're going to bring cultural troops from the 3 countries, and then it's going to be like a competition. After that, we'll spread to ECOWAS, and then Africa at large, rather. So it fits here. That's why we want to use this model to replicate it.
Okay.
You know.
Now, at you call it the Akuhel Sanctuary, and we all know what a sanctuary is.
Yeah.
It's a place of I mean, in religiously, you say a place of worship.
Sure.
But this seems like a cultural academy for me.
You're right.
Yeah. So talk us through the activities, the entire vision, the entire programs
Okay.
of Akuhel.
Good. Let's start with the word sanctuary. We were very careful about that, and we know as soon as you hear sanctuary, the first thing is that religious mindset that a sacred place of worship. No, Akuhel is a place of refuge.
Okay.
It's a safe haven for culture because we know that we need to have a place where our artists will feel safe to say, oh, at last I have a home. At last I have a home. And that's Akuhel. That's the purpose of acquiring that facility. So it's a safe haven for all the artists. Now, for our program, what we started doing, in fact, we staged a cultural competition, like I was saying the last time on your show. We had over 20 cultural troops from Maigibi, from Montserrat, and Grand Bassa. And they competed with some local artists. And we were looking for the best cultural troupe. And then the Malawala Balawala group emerged to be the winner. And Bassabo from Benstown emerged to be the winner of the in the vocal artist category. And so, apart from that, we have painters. You could just walk in there, Vavli, and one of the guys will just paint you as you are, draw you very well on a canvas. We had them there. And
That was when?
That was on the 6th of November.
Okay.
Yeah, and
It marked which activity?
that was our launching out, the launching of
okay.
the cultural competition, because there are going to be a series of cultural competitions that will be happening in the future. Like for today.
So how long did it take you to acquire that place, set it up as a cultural site, and launching this this activity?
The facility itself took few months.
Okay.
We have to go through the legal issues and all that.
Yeah.
Because it was actually out for bid. And so Akuhel won the
But in
bid.
the meanwhile, you've been operating as Akuhel.
Oh yeah, Akuhel is duly registered in Liberia as a business entity. And we've been doing all the paperwork. And then immediately we finished that, we call stakeholders.
That was when.
And that was like October, because it's just the launch. It's like the acid test we thought we should just do for 2 months. We sensitized, not much, just in Maserati and Maigibi
Okay.
and Bassa. We got people like Kekura Kamara, some stakeholders, and say, look, this is the intention. They gather few, cultural troops. But beyond that, we're going to expand it. We're going to expand it to the whole nation, where we'll be having a national cultural competition. That's national county meet. This time it's not football, but it's culture, where we go in each county from a district level, and then have the competition. The person that will emerge as the winner will represent that county. This time around, the award will be bigger, because the last one, they went away with trophy. So that will be on a larger scale. The county meet, the cultural county meet, and it's not just culture. Culture is a way of life, the way we live, the things we eat, the way we go about doing our things. We want it to be the Liberian way. The Liberian way. Number one, like today, we are having today at the former John Gbese Beach the Liberian food competition.
Okay.
It's happening now, and I hope you're getting ready to go there. We're going to have food from all the counties. So we urge you to go. The good thing about it is that we also have palm wine. We're going to be serving it in Calabash. Most of the food, we're going to serve it the way you eat it in the village.
Okay.
When you get there,
Fresh.
in fact, the palm wine is on its way now to the sanctuary. That's why.
I hope that not Morovia palm wine.
Now Sagarina, now she got in again. But I said original. In fact, we contacted the tappers, and you're going to get fresh from God to man.
Okay.
Not only that, but people we're going to encourage them, eat with your hands, wash your hands and eat. The food going to be served in Calabash. We want to touch our roots. We want to be the Liberian we are. The Bassa Doma, the GB, everything. So it's a competition. You come and support your county. That's the whole essence. Because food is part of our culture. And after that, you were talking about line of activities. The next one is we're going to have a fashion show. But this fashion show, we're going to use the Liberian country cloth. Let me put it that way. It is the
Okay.
Liberian country cloth that we will use for the fashion show. We're going to determine who is the most beautiful girl in Liberia. The African and Liberian way. It's different from the conventional one. Nobody will set the standard for us. Nobody will tell us what beauty is. We know. When our people were here, how did they select, their beautiful wives? We're going to go back to it. So it's a whole line. It's a movement. It's a movement that will live after us, because we want our people to go back to our way of life. We can only improve on it, but we can't abandon it. We can only improve on what we wear. Let's speak our dialect. We're looking at, like the last time I was on your show, I was saying that we talking to the Ministry of Education. We hope that very soon, in each semester, at least the students will wear their typical Liberian country cloth twice in a semester. And you know what that would mean to those who are producing the cloth. So if you have all the students in Liberia wearing their traditional country cloth at least twice in a semester, and encourage workers the workers say, look, you know what? On Friday it's dressed down, it's African, but it's not just African, but Liberian country cloth. Every worker. Now, those in that sector is going to have a trickle-down effect on them. They're going to have cash to play with. It will empower them. It will create jobs. Our painters, because it's a cross section of the artistical industry. It's not just limited to culture. So come today, please come and enjoy your food. Come and patronize, and know that when you enter in there, you are promoting culture. You are promoting culture. You are helping an artist to develop and grow.
Okay.
So that's what will be happening today at Akure Sanctuary.
Okay. So we will talk more about future activities of Akuhel, but we've been joined by Joe Wanda. Joe Wanda is the media director at Akuhel Sanctuary. Mr. Wanda, good morning. Again, we've reconnected.
Yeah.
From Truth FM.
Obviously, obviously.
How are you? Good to see you.
Thank you, Vavli. And I want to say thanks to the management and staff of this illustrious institution, because I mean, what I'm seeing here is beyond description. What am I talking about? To see a lot of young people, being appointed by the president, and they were able to put things together like this, it tells you that the young people got a lot to offer to this nation.
Sure.
So I'm so proud of all of you, and you too. You yourself sitting here, I'm so proud of you, because I know from whence we come. Because when you join us at the Truth FM, I knew where you were, and today you can be hosting one of the flagship program in this place. I'm so much proud of you. I follow you a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, we've been talking about the vision and the mission of Akuhel. So tell us, Akuhel. I mean, why should we believe in Akuhel vision and mission?
Vavle, you've been knowing me for years in, years out. When I'm for something, I'm for it. I sat back, like Alfred Redley said, that when he was approached on this issue, he bought into it. Same as me. My father-in-law, fortunately, is part of this whole process. So it took the 2 weeks that our hair was behind him. Look, find me a media person. He said, "Oh, but my son-in-law is part of this, is part of the media conglomerate of Liberia. So let me let him know."
Okay.
They called me one Sunday evening. I went there, and I sat with them, and they educated me about my own culture. Imagine strangers, I would say, to educate me on my own culture, to tell me that this is what we intend doing for the Liberian culture, the near esteem and the esteem culture. What are those near esteem and esteem culture? Though they talked about it last week, but we just talked a little more emphasis on it. Looking at our way of life, Vavli, I bet you sitting down here, nothing, no more than 2% of the typical Liberian fabric is among your wardrobe.
Not at all.
How you call that? It's a shame on you or what?
Big shame.
Thank you. And they told me, when they look around the street of Liberia, they don't see anything that resembles a nation that proud herself as one of the oldest in Africa, but got nothing to show to herself. So I said, well, y'all got me on board. We pick up from there. I'm so much proud that at least we're making headway in terms of getting Liberians involved, because everybody say that, oh, no job, no job. What do you mean by no job? A lot of job in this country, but people are not even thinking in going into it. What I see the older one, the younger one involved with is that I will say politics, university campus, they sit under the Palawa hall and just talk trash whole day, say that they talk in politics. Election time, can they put on t-shirts, go there, vote, and that's about it. Next thing, they hope like, oh, I come from the abandoned district. What can you do with the God-given talent that He has given you as a Liberian? What will be your contribution towards this nation? Politics don't build any other nation. This act of tourism, it creates more jobs and more money in more pockets. You won't find way where people that will call in Soko today on the street. Trust me. Akohe has come to transform, to change the mindset that nothing good can come from other Liberian. I say it's a lie. It will interest you to know that every young man you see walking the street of Monrovia, they got sunken and imbued, talent. That when they open their mouths, somebody audition will sit in with young people. Remember, we got unpolished diamond around here. We got diamond and gold that are unpolished. What am I talking about? Talents that are not being tapped into. That what we're not going for big names. No. Because the big names already find their places. Go for those that are down there.
Just in the space of less than a year,
Yeah.
you've discovered.
Who discovered that? I'm telling you. Our sisters and brothers you see walking around here, they are talented. They open their mouth to sing. You will say, "What? So the people been here? Why we are not paying attention?" And probably we need to give chance to our cultural activities to come. Let us forget about too much academia. We're too much into this academia. The vocational and technical education, it should include culture as well. It should be a curriculum by itself that be even taught in vocational school, that taught in our high school that we're talking about. Collaborating with the ministry, we love it. Imagine having a national cultural county meet. Let's assume Akuhe, or we take it to the national stage, we take it to SKD.
So what is the essence of that?
The essence is we want to scat and, like I said, the near esteem or esteem culture. Like, for example, one last you saw, since you were born, one last you saw the traditional wrestling. Tell me, one last you saw it.
I can't remember.
You see that? So what do you going to tell your children? When they ask you, Papa, there's a country we're in here. I had a country before. I see the thing here in Ghana, but I don't see anything like, bro. What do you tell them? We're bringing back those things. You look at your max dancer, you call them country devil. What do you call country devil? They are max dancer. You got to guys on the street beating drum, looking for $5 and $10. This is not life. So we try to take them from off the street and take them to the sanctuary, house them. They showcase themselves. Vavle, this is the only way the country can move forward. Politics have failed us in the long run. We need to come back to realization that we need to do something to get Liberians and Liberia on her feet.
So Mr. Boaka, I mean, the whole essence for me I'm sensing here is programs, breeding talents, and what else for Akuhel?
Good. Lovely.
You were talking about exporting
Yeah,
culture.
yeah. Akuhel is very strategic. We are very keen about what we want. The whole idea is to educate people, but we're going to use culture. We were in conversation with someone, and when we saw the idea, he was like, wow, in Rwanda, you know the atrocities that were committed during the Civil War. They never called for war crime code. They used culture to reconcile the country. How did they do it? The power of the Palawa hut. Let's talk about it a bit. If you visit any village in Liberia, those days, I don't know whether we have them today, you find the Palawa hut in the middle of the town. And the chief is always there. That was the tribunal center. That was the headquarters of that village to resolve issues. So when they had issue in the village, they all would go to the Palawa hut, and the elders would call them and resolve the issue. Rwanda decided to use that method. They never brought in no war crime codes.
Right.
No white men coming tell them how to run your show. They will call you. They have one day in a week. I think Nshasha is the name.
In Shasha.
Nshasha is
what they call it.
the
I think on a
name.
Saturday or something like that.
Yeah, on Saturday, the elders will meet, and then we investigate.
Both victims and perpetrator.
Yes, they all
They
meet.
bring them under the Palawa house.
Yeah, and then they will tell you are wrong for killing this person. You are wrong for doing this, and they will dish out punishment for you
In accordance with their culture.
with their
Yes.
culture, and you will serve your punishment whether for 6 months or 1 year. Every Saturday you come and apologize to the people.
So there was a strong sense of cultural obedience.
it's still
Thank
going
you.
on there in Rwanda. They use culture to resolve issues, to bring unity in the country.
And that's one thing I want to know. Do we have cultural obedience or disobedience in this country?
Vavli, the answer is obvious. The answer is so obvious. You can see the result. If we had that, we'll not be going through what we're going through.
Then we should cultivate the mindset of cultural obedience
That's the message. That's the
and
message.
respect for culture.
That's the message. When you-
Should it be constitutional?
Well, if that will happen, that would be good. You see, you beat the drum, they will come, and when they come, we teach them. That's the whole idea. That's why we even want to ask students, look, you know what? When we were in conversation with the Deputy Minister of Education, he told us that is why they were very conscious of it. That is why they introduced civic education.
Right.
We want to go a step further to recommend that we will have a cultural curriculum, that what our brother is saying. Probably when you're ready to get married, what are the traditional rights? In your culture, what you're supposed to do, and what's the meaning of that? What are the items you use? We want to display that. Now, before 1822, there were people in Liberia. How were they living? How were they living? The place was not virgin. People were here, they were living before this country was formed. Now, how did they live? How they used to relax? How they used to get married? How they used to eat? That is who we are. Now, when somebody or young boy ready to get married, the first thing you'll be looking for is the old man or uncle that will tell them, Papi, what we can do. For them, they don't know, they don't know.
I mean, I'm guilty of that. My traditional wedding, I was lost. When everything was going on,
You are just
I
lost.
just want to and get out,
Let's teach the people. Our people had school, they had traditional school. We call it the Pearl and the Sandal Society. They had school. They took the whole essence is to educate the young girls and get them ready for marriage. They would teach them how to take care of a man, how to take care of your home, how to take care of your children. And they bring them out. The men did the same. The men entered. Those were traditional school. There are one or two issues, that we can improve on, but that was their way of educating, and they were responsible people. They promoted virginity. They were not promiscuous.
Alfred, let me just, I don't want to
go
lose
ahead.
track of this thought that just came to mind when you were talking about the marriage, aspect of our nation. My people, all of you that are listening to us now, it is becoming worrisome that our traditional way of life is not esteemed, especially when it comes to the what you call the traditional marriage. Vavle, I feel so disappointed when I hear you talking, say, "Oh, my traditional marriage, my white wedding." What you call white wedding? What you call it boils my blood.
So
It boils my blood.
It's all just part of the education
It is.
aspect of Aku Health.
It is.
Let's bring it down to
The,
Aku
the,
Health.
the
It's
Nigerian,
inculcated.
of course, the Nigerian, they do these things, but they don't do it the European way. They do it the Yoruba way. They do it the Igbo way.
And
What
they
can we
And
do
they're
it?
done, they're done.
They're done. Poor boy, you won't get married because you want me straightforward in front of God. You go to traditional marriage, you do all the real expenses. Then they tell you, say, oh, white wedding, you got 13 men standing. What kind of thing is they will do to ourselves? Why we encouraging a tradition that is not part of, like he said, how my parents, when I opened my eyes to see my father, those many wives that he had, they never had church wedding. They never had a long a bridal party, and what kind of party was on a long sugar water, something claiming they said that cake. Why are we doing this thing to ourselves? We got to come back to the drawing board. When you go to a Gio traditional wedding, you all do your thing. The parent bless it. Look, the American ambassador respect our traditional wedding. I think more than even your thing you call European what have you. I'm telling you, they respect the certificate.
Has Aku Health come to rescue the situation?
We have come to rescue the situation, to imbue into our mind that you have to come back. You're Liberian. My man, we're supposed to be speaking even data here this morning, not speaking English. It's shameful.
Yeah.
We don't have a national language. It's shameful. Greet a Nigerian man. He lived in Nigeria for record ages. I live in Ghana for record ages and other parts of the world. My brother, every time you say hello to a Ghanaian, you say, you look at him in the face, you say, Atisen, Boko. But Liberian, what can you say? When I say Babi, I should sit there, you can't even answer me. You say, but what am I talking so? Then they can say, they say my park can speed 18. They say my man can speed 18. We have to come back. We are lost.
Sure. Vavle, let me just, I see the passion that you're speaking with. Anytime you talk about culture, is so passionate. Let's go back. How did we get to where we are? This country you call Liberia, I keep saying it, was not colonized, but Liberia was established by free slaves.
Sure.
Slaves. I say slaves. And with the slave mentality.
Right.
because when they were taken out of Africa to the plantation,
Now, there for me, the problem came about. You
Yeah.
know, and there, I mean, your foundation has serious impact on your future.
sure, that's where we
So
are.
if your foundation is a mixture of this and that, you will continue to live this and that.
No, let's get that straight.
Let me-
Let's get that straight.
let me just-
Alfred, let me just infuse that quick. We had a foundation here, our traditional foundation. Then one day our slave brothers came, they completely put it behind all, and they, in fact, Alfred, and they ended for me.
Yeah, you know,
End it for me.
the thing is, when they and I don't blame them. You can't give.
But
what-
that's the reality.
Yeah, wait, yeah, I don't blame them because they don't. You can't give what you don't have.
Right.
Okay. Now, when they were taken out of here, they were stripped of their culture.
Yeah.
The very first thing they did was they stopped them from speaking their dialect because they were afraid that when they speak their dialect together, they would play and do harm to their master. They stripped them of their names. They stripped them of their food. That was what they knew. So when they came back here, they decided to do the same thing here. When you come from what we call the interior and come to town, what's your name? Vavli. Number one, it's difficult to pronounce. So, Va what? From today, you are called Jack. And you threw away that name. When you come in and you want to speak the dialect, I don't want to hear that thing here.
That's right.
Because they don't even know how to speak any dialect. So they will discourage you from speaking it.
And let me just play the devil's advocate, right? I don't tend to be rude to Akuhel, but I think Akuhel will not succeed because you know this our mixture and disobedience for our own culture and forgetting about where we came from. You know, it's so chronic, like it cannot be healed anymore. What do you say about that?
Vavli, sorry, that 1 minute. Vavli,
I mean, we should have rescued this thing ever since.
Vavli, in fact, what we are talking about is over 200 years old. The sickness is over 200. I agree with you. That is why I said this is a movement. Because it's going to live after us. We have to start it. We have to start it. Because the first thing about change is that you resist it. Anything that's complicated for the mind, you resist it. No, it can't work. People have said it. The last time on the show, the host, like you said, it is not possible. I said, it is possible. We can change it. We will start it now. Our children will finish it. That's why we want to go to the school. You know why? Tell them the importance of it. Tell them what they stand to benefit. I'm telling you, if we do not checkmate it now, probably your children will ask you, who are you?
But you know how many children's children like us have come,
Exactly.
and we're not changing
Vavli,
it.
So we have to start. The
And
boss,
then, but now this brings me to the next question.
No, before you go to the next question,
Yeah.
I beg you. That word, I want you to take it back.
Well, it was not-
Akuhel can never ever fail.
so how sustainable is Akuhel?
good. Joe, sorry, I know you
Yeah,
come
let's
in.
talk
Right.
about sustainability because your ability to change things
Yeah.
hinges on your sustainability.
I will start up there. After we continue from there. Akuhel is not looking for profit now. Though we are business
Are you here
entity.
to stay? That's my point.
Obviously, we're talking about ownership. We're not renting. We're not renting the old, what do you call it, John Bese place there. We are owners. Owners of that. We own the property, the 25 acres of land and more. We own it. So when you own something, what happens? You got any time to move from there? It is yours. So it is something that have come to stay. It left for you sitting here and those listening to us to buy into this project and move on and get Liberia what she ought to be. You know, we don't have a cultural center as we speak. We're trying to make one. We're trying to do the best we can to get you that's sitting down here. When you go to Akuhel,
I won't mind be a student of Akuhel.
when you go to Akuhel,
You're welcome.
for the second time we'll eat it because the moment we eat together as a committee. When we pick a spoon, then people can be looking at one another. So nowadays, we have all changed. We eat, you eat with your hands. Everybody eat with their hands. We're trying to go back to where we came from, where the spoon business came from. Where the spoon business came from. So, you know, they said Liberian people lost. Now what they can tell is that Liberian people lost. The people came and just misuse you, and you're still buying the kind of way of life.
So let's continue with sustainability.
Okay, yeah, in terms of sustainability, the program will take care of itself.
Okay.
Yeah, because I tell you this: when we started the auditioning program, the launch out, we had a guest in the country from Hollywood. We also had a guest from the African Association in the USA. They were in Liberia, so they heard about it and ran there. As I speak to you, the lady is like, you know what? I can pump in this amount of money. The guy from Hollywood said, look, how can we partner? How can we partner I mean, for sustainability? And we said, look, you know what? Number one, that thing you call Hollywood, we don't even want any partnership from there. We are very careful so that the originality of this project will still be intact. So we are not being driven by money. Money will come later. That property is worth millions of dollars. So if Akuhel can acquire it, even though that we aren't here to play, we didn't come to invest. There are other areas we could invest in Liberia, but we decided to invest in arts and culture. It is capital intensive, and it's a long-term investment.
Right.
We are very clear about that. So most of it, like what we are doing today, the food, when you go, the Palava Hut has been customized per county.
Right.
It costs us money. The food.
In fact, the region.
Region,
We
yeah.
put in a region from, like, for example, Nimba. You got about 5 tribes there. So they all come under one umbrella,
One
GB.
Palawa Hut and take the GB. The southeastern region, you take care of your pan butter.
Right.
So we spend all that. Someone was asking, suppose people don't come, how are we going to make our money? We're like, you know what? It is an idea. And people, since it's not a physical thing, like car, people find it difficult to invest in. They don't understand. But I'm telling you, when Akuhel gets in full swing, the effect, the reciprocal effect on the country will be seen in terms of tourism, in terms of job creation, and all of that. Because we told you, you see that Marshall Highway will be used as a hub.
Yeah.
When Akuhel is launching a festival, our annual festival, we'll have like 200-300 cultural troops that will be lined up on the road
From Rarofi, both
to
Rarofi
entertain people.
and Monrovia.
And that will attract or tourists. They will
Tourists.
come in. As you come, those in Marshall will be using their bare room for hotel because there will be enough hotels to lodge people. You find different cultural displays, painters, and then Akuhel is just the headquarters.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe we want to listen to people, if they are
Yeah.
interested. I will ask, before I take the calls, I will ask Mr. Wanda, because he has a very serious role to play in selling the image media-wise
Sure.
of Akuhel. How do you do that? How do you get people attracted to what you're doing? Are you using the traditional media, the social media, all of the media platforms? How are you going to do that?
Beautifully, I'm seated right here in your studio, and you are partner to this process. You see how beautiful it is? You reach around the country. You got your social media platform. I understood you on SATCON, and you had a space and the DSTV as well. So you, the one, will preach this gospel to the Liberian people.
Maybe you want to reach out to the community radios as well.
Of course,
Because
we are not limited.
Yeah.
Because ERBC is doing it, we can just fold our hands and say, okay, because ERBC is doing it, so we're moving out. The newspapers, those who can read, we're still selling the ideas to them to tell them that, look, this is what they have come back.
And are there plans for the tour of the counties?
Oh, sure.
Yes, the cultural county meet.
We'll have a
We got to go there for auditions.
We'll stay there, we'll
Yeah.
audition. And that's not culture. We're going like our national song, the national anthem.
Yeah.
Can you sing it in VAR? Can you sing it in Pele?
We are thinking
That's
about
the
that.
competition we're talking about. We need a single student who can speak all the dialects. That's the kind of competition we want. So it's not just culture. There are different categories. So we have to visit the counties from that level and then come to the national level.
Okay, so if you just joined us, you're listening to the Super Morning Show on ELBC with me, Vafle Kamara. I have with me as my guests Mr. Alfred A. Boaka. He's the executive coordinator of Aku Health Sanctuary. Also here is Joe Nutwa Wanda. He's the media director at Aku Health as well. The old John Wested Beach and they're here on the Super Morning Show. So if you want to be a part of the program, you can call us on 080 096 080 better still on 07705818886. Let's listen to this caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Joe Johnson Pastor calling from District 2 in Makasha.
Let's hear you, Mr. Passaway.
Thank you very much, and I want to say thanks to my student guest. You know, he has said it all. I'm a student of history, and I listened to him, and my heart just beating that yeah, we have to go to our cultural setting. And when he's talking about the 25 acres of land, and later I was just thinking about the architectural designing. That the 15 counties, each county in the whole is 1 acre so that they had a settlement, they had everything arranged. And one thing we are losing is that our culture, we are diffused our culture into the Western culture. And that is not overly well for us. Like on so many marriages we have gone, and you know, people after the African cultural system and other things, they have gone to do more money for Western area and other things. And you know, it will not take us nowhere.
Okay.
We have to respect ourselves.
Okay.
And the reality that even to identify our artifact, we don't know it. When you go to the Gio, you go to the VAR, you go to the Mano. For
Okay.
me, I hear from Grand Cayman County. And you know, I always going by telling my people the cultural system. Like sometimes when I go and speak to them, Yakune, and they'll be asking me why I speak to them, Yakune. But I'm seeing that we have not been seen. And there is the only way I can greet you that you will know that today you are seeing me.
Okay.
You know? So thank you, bro.
Thank you so much. Call us on 077 0581886 or 080 and be live on the Super Morning Show this morning. Let's hear from this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. How you
Mo-
doing, sir?
I'm fine. What's the name?
My name is Abraham Johnson. I'm calling from Lofa and from Foya District.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, my question having to be with this. Today you guys having this culture thing to John Grisey Beach, but today having to be a holiday where you see our young girls don't respect the culture, they dress any kind of way to go on the beach. Are you going to be accepting people dressing anyhow to go on the beach when you have a culture thing there? That's
Okay.
my question.
Okay. Thank you. They will respond to that. I'm sure they will respond. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What's the name?
My name is Sabuba calling from Pong County.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much. As well as I was saying concerning Rwanda, respecting culture to judge those kind of crimes, one of the best cultural practices we have, and it will have a standard word of you, which when someone is lying, it links them to say the truth. So when all of those things go out of tradition, it lost its value. And the Ministry of Internal Affairs, I think it was created to be a liaison between the native people and that of the government. But they try to protect the government more than their own traditional practices. Sometimes they put someone in the ministry that don't know about traditional practice. So how will they preserve it? I think they need to start to look back and see why they created that ministry.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from this person. Morning.
Morning, ma.
Morning, what's the name?
I'm Nesina Gabo.
Okay. Thank you. Let's hear you, man.
Thank you for the program this morning. I've come to speak on a topic that is being widespread in Nigeria. Everything was tough to the female those of Nigeria. And I want to say here that the Sunday Society was a first institution of them. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
Listen to the city, to the Western education, adult education at the BSc level, and I'm a professional teacher. I graduated from William V. Stubborn Teachers College. But the West, the Sunday Society was a first institution. Then you were talking about culture here. Our culture is dying. Wow, you are provoking the females, those of the story of Nigeria. The only thing you can do is to do some adjustment. The aspect that you have to deal with female gender mutilation, that can be put out. But there are other aspects, singing, dancing, farming. I think the education I got from there is what the CDE. Because here I got a Western education, I got BSc, and I'm not getting paid for it. I've been underpaid for more than 10 years. But what I learned in the Southern Bush is what society needs. So I have serious problem with it. They're talking about culture. The culture is dying. Our
Okay.
culture is dying. Why they can't tell the men? What tell the men they will jail you in their bush. But under the women, and I'm going to stand up for the soul.
Okay.
Yesterday.
Thank you so much. I mean, we can take, I think, a call and go back to our two guests to respond. Let's hear from this person. Good morning. Morning.
Good morning, family.
Good morning. What's the name?
My name is Aris T. Kennedy, the Puriwa Katabola.
Let's hear you. Where you come from?
I come from Banga, Bong County.
I mean, we're talking culture here, not politics.
Yeah, but it has some implication.
I know. The intertwined,
It
eh?
has some it has some implication.
Let's hear you, Chief.
Traditionally, I'm oriented
Okay.
as a Liberian.
Mm-hmm.
I hail from Lofa County. So I know the culture to the depth and breadth, or the length and breadth of my finger and my life. But because they convention on human rights, blah, 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 when this government, they person come to leadership, they go to the United Nations and sign all these kind of treaties and things. They say human rights, it infringes on our culture. Which I can remember, even in the regime, during the regime of Eddie, they signed treaties that abolishing the gender mutilated activity. And recently, we have a UN representative. She visited the country, even requesting the traditional council to join them to abolish. So all these things have impediment on our life, on our culture. So the culture is not actually working. I sat and keenly listening to my radio, and you were discussing about the school butch or the boys' school. I went there. And I passed through a lot of things. I've gone through some rain and fire.
So briefly.
Briefly, the government need to put our feet down if we need to support our culture, the tradition of our people, for our ancestors.
Okay.
That's the only way our culture will continue to reign amongst our these day children, because there's no decency when it comes to our children that are coming up today. So this is my input. The government politics is playing with our culture on a serious note. Take care of Ive, Vape Kamara. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I want to squeeze in this call that seems to be an overseas call. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. What's the name?
Oh, my name is Teddy.
Teddy. You called from where?
I'm calling from London.
Yeah, it's the UK number. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate the organization. What they are bringing in to Liberia is very important. Very, very important. And I just want to tell them thank you. Well, they should, concentrate and focus on, teaching the local dialect, to select one dialect to teach it in all the schools. I think that will help. That will help very much to teach one language of the Liberian language in all the schools. What I want to say, and thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. All right. So, Mr. Boakai and Mr. Wanda, you can just speak up from there, then we'll close up. Okay. Let me thank those that call. Thank you very much. And the last caller who just call from the UK. We we are humble, and we're going to improve exactly what you said. In our research, we just found out that the Pele tribe, out of all the tribes in Liberia, they are about 20%. You know, even this Pusawa rest we keep talking about. In my research, we also got to know that in Pele, Puhawa is 30. When the Firestone abolished, when call our farmers,
Yeah.
and told them come and plant rubber instead of planting rice. And then they used to count 30 days. After 30 days, when the ship carried the litter, America, when they come in, they will bring the rest. So they will count Putono, Pufela, Puhawa. You get the Jokole Pele and the other Pele. So the Pusawa is the same 30. So
They named it after.
they name it. So where am I going? What would it look like if we have a national dialect? You understand? We're a victim of these things. You enter Ghana, you want to go buy something. It's not to say hello, and you speaking like a Liberian American. They say then they will go in their dialect, in their tree, and when they finish with you,
You will pay more than
oh yes. I'm not saying we should do that, but it brings oneness.
Yeah.
It brings unity. And to the person who said, "Will you stop people from coming naked to the beach?" You know what? The Akure Sanctuary is so fantastic. God has blessed the place with a lot of natural endowment. You can swim in the sea, in the lagoon, and the swimming pool for both kids and adults with lifeguard. But this is what is going to happen. Come as you are. You will be taught. Nobody will tell you to stop. But what you will see, what you will hear, it's not embarrassing anybody, but just to tell you the truth. Then you come. So we're not going to restrict anybody. It's open to everybody. Come. But we want to teach you that, you know what, there's a better way of life.
Okay.
Let us not forget, the Western culture has so much influence. They will teach you that your color is not good. Your hair is not good. That's why they will sell. That's why the fashion industry is a multi-million-dollar industry. Making you to know that what you have is not good. Only what they have. So that you can buy their hair and put to your own. When you look at your black face, you say, no, man, I'm not talking too black. You use cream to bleach and spoil. It's because of lack of self-esteem. You don't even know where you're from. You should be proud of who you are. That's where we are going. So before you close, we want to tell them what's going on today. If you really want to support culture in Liberia, you really want to support the program, please turn out. I know today is holiday. No excuse. Don't eat. Do not eat home. We have enough food.
for sale, right?
Yeah, just for $5.
Okay.
At least just to help patronize the place. So, and you're going to eat real good food.
Okay.
So it's there. Like we said, it's not for the money. It's an idea we want when we have international meetings here, and the presidents come, give them GB to swallow. Give them cassava leaf to eat. Let the pepper boil them. Let it be. That's the Liberian way. Don't bring. It's a drive, please. That's where we're going. That's our culture. That's who we are. As developed as the Chinese are, they still use their chopstick. Imagine you teaching physics and chemistry in Pele. That's what happened to the Chinese. So
Okay.
it's a whole lot. Come out. We are there. The Palawa Hut, each country has a Palawa Hut. You get there, you can discuss. It's a national discourse.
Okay.
How to revive the culture. All the stakeholders out there. If we are open, come. If you can speak the dialect, you can write the dialect. Our doors are open. We are open to everybody. Come and let's help restore Liberia culture.
Okay, lastly for you,
Yeah, I want to say thanks again to the management of LBS for affording us this kind of opportunity, reaching around the world, seated just in the studio, and our ideas have been spread around the world. We're so happy about the partnership with the management of Liberian Broadcasting Corporation under the stewardship of Madam Liberty. Again, after as I sit here, I didn't even drink tea to my house. I just jumped in the bathroom, took bath, brushed my mouth, and came. So I'm going as empty as I am. When I reach to the base, which is the sanctuary, I'm going to eat to make sure I'm filled. So do the same. You're going to the beaches today? Come. Wherever way you dress in, skin tile, you dress in what? Come. We want you to come and patronize and get to know what Liberia look like, because we're trying to remodel Liberia. This thing, like he's regularly told you, somebody will tell you, say, poke a color in your hair. You're a black man with rough hair. You say, you must go poke a curl in your hair, or what do you call it? This is a thing they got, a sporting wave and thing for your hair to be waving. My man, you're a black man and you're a Liberian man. You should remain as you are. So that's the vision and the mission of ACOHE. We want to reinvent the wheels in terms of the cultural activities. Though extinct and near extinct culture, we try to bring them back. So I hope to see you guys there because your management team said they want to be around. So we hope to see you guys as the day unfolds.
Thank you so much for coming.
Vable, sorry, I hope you're coming. Am I right?
No, I'm from Bong.
Look, Benwaya. Oh, very good. I'm there waiting for you.
Okay, so the Mr. Alfred Boaka, the executive coordinator of ACOHE Sanctuary. Earlier you listened to Mr. Joe Nutwa Wanda. He's the media director at ACOHE. My name is Vafle Kamal.